This is Katannya Alven speaking from Canada at good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is part 2 of Dr. Martin as he reads out the allegations and who he's bringing these allegations against and why.
15 U.S. Code Section 2, talks about a violation of monopolizing trade. And this says every person who shall monopolize or attempt to monopolize or combine or conspire with any other person or persons to monopolize any part of trade or commerce among the several states or with foreign nations shall be deemed guilty of a felony. And once again, this is a criminal violation, and the penalty shall be not exceeding $100 million if a corporation or if a person $1 million.
Remember, he said this is criminal. This is a criminal.
The third provision that I want to give rise to with respect to the Antitrust Act is a thing in Section 19 called interlocking directorates and officers. And specifically, I just want to make reference to this. No person shall at any time serve as a director or officer in any two corporations engaged in whole or in part in commerce and by virtue of their business or location of operation, competitors, so that the elimination of competition by agreement would constitute a violation of any antitrust law. Now, those 5 provisions, 2 acts of the Constitution, which give rise to all kinds of cures in both civil matters and otherwise, and the Sherman Act, which are actually criminal acts, are very important to set the stage for what happened. On April 25th, 2003, the United States Center for Disease Control broke the law.
So, in 2003, I think he said April the 25th. In 2003, we're going back 17 years.
They broke 35 U.S. Code Section 101 in the filing of a patent entitled Coronavirus Isolated from Humans. Under Section 101 of 35 U.S. Code, the patenting of a substance of nature is illegal.
Right. The patenting of a substance of nature is illegal.
This was confirmed, by the way, in a Supreme Court case with which we were affiliated in 2013 against Myriad Genetics. And the Supreme Court ruled in their affirmation of this that it is illegal to have a patent on a human gene.
It is illegal to have a patent on a human gene.
Center for Disease Control.
That's the CDC.
April 25th, 2003.
April the 25th, 2003. I was right when I remembered 25th. April the 25th, 2003.
Filed a patent for and ultimately received United States Patent 7776521. And I need to make a very specific reference to the fact that in claims 3 and 4, the method of detecting SARS virus and a kit for the detection of SARS virus was granted with no limitation, particularly claim 4, which reads, a kit for detecting a severe acute respiratory syndrome-associated coronavirus in a sample. That's as broad as you get. They received a patent that restricted anyone, anywhere in the United States from engaging in any activity using this.
Oh, now I understand a bit more.
Now, from April 2003 and following, the CDC owned not only SARS, but they owned the kit to detect SARS.
Now I understand. Because they put a patent in for it, owned that patent for the detection of SARS, which is a coronavirus of its own name.
Its ability to be detected, its ability to manufacture kits, and during that 15-year period, the effect of this grant, which was ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, meant that commercial exploitation or any research involving the commercial exploitation of the virus or any kit to detect the virus would have been an infringement of the CDC patent, and therefore an infringement giving rise to CDC's actions, were it not for the fact that CDC's patent and their maintenance thereof is actually illegal.
Good God. Dear God.
CDC and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, led by Anthony Fauci, that's right, the Dr. Fauci that you hear, entered into trade among states, including but not limited to a corporation called Eco Health Alliance Incorporated.
Eco Health Alliance Incorporated, he entered into alliance with.
And with foreign governments and foreign entities in direct violation of the Sherman Act provisions.
And with foreign governments and entities. So which foreign governments were they? Well, I certainly saw and I've actually used it in one of my YouTubes, or a couple of my YouTubes, that the patent was owned by also, or not owned, but there was a connection to Bill Gates, there was a connection to the MI6 in Britain. Maybe I'll have to put that in there as well, in the description box.
Specifically, the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the Chinese Academy of Sciences, through a 2004 National Institutes of Health grant, RO1 AI 110964. That constitutes commercial activity involving an illegal asset entered into interstate and international commerce in violation of the Sherman Act.
You know, I want to say here, I'm filled with appreciation of this man and other people of his ilk. It's not just the knowledge that any one of us have in our chosen field of expertise. It is how we use it. It is, are we using it in an ethical way? Are we using it to help humanity? Or are we using it to destroy humanity, or to inhibit justice or truth or honor or health? That is the difference. That's the very core that we're facing at the moment.
The CDC and NIAID also entered into a commercial engagement with the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, which is obviously interstate, and with foreign nations, specifically the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the Chinese Academy of Sciences, with Dr. Ralph S. Barrick of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and Dr. Zheng Li Shi, the head of the research component of the project that included not only the Wuhan Institute of Virology, but the National Natural Science Foundation of China.
And here we've got the heads of universities or the heads of departments. We are all going to have to rethink who we give our trust in, and certainly it is very clear, and the more research I do, the more clear I am. I mean, I have not seen a doctor for 36 or so years because I don't trust the medical profession and I don't trust the pharmaceutical profession. That doesn't mean to say every doctor is destroying his Hippocratic oath, but you don't know who is and you don't know who isn't. So I'll take care of my own health, thank you very much. And I've born in 1939 and I've reached the wonderful, wonderful age of 80. And I can still put my feet over my head and I can still dance and I can still sing and do many exercises and what have you, and swim and all the rest of it, and garden. And I suppose in a way I'm more like a 40-year-old.
CDC and the NIAID entered into trade among states in addition, which gave rise not only to a constructive infringement, unless there was another undisclosed agreement, on the patent that was held by CDC, with the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and with foreign nations to conduct chimeric construction of novel coronavirus material with specific virulence properties prior to, during, and following the determination made by the National Institute of Health on October the 17th, 2014, that this work was not sufficiently vetted for biosecurity and safety standards.
Now, remember he said, and also foreign nations. Do you recall, any of you, that let's go to Agenda 21 and Agenda 30 and the Bilderberg Committee, and also Prince Philip apparently saying that if he were to come back, if there was reincarnation, he wanted to come back as a deadly virus. Now, that's not just a coincidence. It's quite sick-making. I used to live relatively close to, I was in Hampshire and then Dorset. There was Porton Down, which was their place where they developed poisons. They developed Agent Orange and they tested it on troops. George Galloway was talking about the British government, or the department of the British government, tested poisons in the tube on the general public. So the tube being the metro. So we've given our trust and faith to a number of people, and this is what we've got to find out, who are pure evil. Bill Gates is one of them, because this is very much about this big push for vaccinations. And one of the next videos I've got is a wonderful woman talking about vaccinations and the dangers of vaccinations. And thank goodness I had a homeopathic doctor at one time, and he took the vaccinations out of my children, who I dutifully mother. I'd allowed to have vaccinations. I was a very good, dutiful mother. And also both out of Colin, my husband, and myself. So we are free through homeopathic nosoids of the effects of those horrendous vaccinations. And I think the vaccinations now are far, far worse. So this is the end of part 2. I will go on to part 3. Stay with me. This is so, so important. This is Katannya Alven signing out for now. Remember to look in the description box. You'll see the Delphin World. Go and have a look at that. Sign up for the Capstone experience. It's very, very reasonable, and it's a 2-hour webinar. This is Katannya Alven signing out.